You guys hear me?
There we
Yep, we
go.
can hear you. How's everybody doing today?
Good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome everyone. We've got a very, very large audience today. And first and foremost, I just want to welcome everyone. And I know we've got Olympians in here. We've got a lot of newcomers. We've got the Sierra Dow family in with us today. And I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday as we're kind of moving out of that holiday season. And kind of before we dive into a lot of things, I just want to kind of let you guys introduce yourselves real quick and kind of tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Awesome. So I'll go first. My name is Jack. I am the founder of Sierra DAO. I've been in the community for a while. I participated in Olympus for a while. And pretty much the whole reason that we're here today is because what we saw when Olympus started was something that me and my other devs have always wanted to do. And the platform that they created was just something super special. And so I just like to say thank you, everyone, for being here and listening to us. We hope we can explain a little bit more about our project, and then I'll give it off to Piki to talk about himself as well.
Yo, hello everyone. Yeah, my name is Yad. Uh, I've originally I got into the crypto community first 3 years ago, and then I left the crypto community to start the stock trading full time. And yeah, that was a huge success. But then later, with the uprising of DAOs, I started coming back to crypto, and yeah, things took off from there. I started getting knowledge. I started communicating with people, and yeah, my connection just grew. I started being part of the Olympians of Wolf Wall Street and all of those big people in Tao. And then, yeah, I wasn't part of Sierra in the beginning, but then I hit up Jack, and then, yeah, things just started clicking. He started liking my ideas and the ideas I had for marketing. And then from there, we just progressed.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, welcome again. We're very excited to have you guys. So I guess let's dive in. I know the team is the whole community is kind of brewing with a lot of questions. Launch is right around the corner. So kind of how what we'll roll with this is we'll kind of go through a couple of questions with you, and then we'll just kind of unleash everything to the community. We'll bring some folks up to the stage, folks that want to interact over voice. And then we've also got a side chat going, the Sierra AMA, you can see off to the left, where we also have some folks asking questions. And so we'll let you guys kind of pick and choose which questions that you wanna kind of pick from our community. So kind
Awesome.
of diving in, the big thing that I know a lot of folks, there's a lot of roles within your Discord. So can you explain how the roles of hikers, climbers, and cavemen will work?
Definitely. So I'll start off with hikers. Hikers is our most broad and it's our also intro tier. Pretty much hikers are just if we can see you participating in the community, interacting with others, and also you can win a hiker role through participating in our Twitter and Discord giveaways. Um, as you know, the hiker role has 1,000 spots, so it's very vast and large. And so during the pre-sale, that will amount to a 10 MIM per SRA rate. And then as we go on to the climber role is a lot more exclusive. There's only 100 positions in climber. And this role is given out to those who we see that are constantly working with the community, answering questions, helping out. If anyone has a question about something on our Medium that they haven't read yet, they'll direct them to that. And people that are just really showing that they want to contribute. And so during the pre-sale, there will be a rate of 7 MIM per SRA. And the caveman role actually is the most exclusive at 50 spots total, at a rate of half the tier one rate, which is 5 MIM per SRA. And so the reason that we made this role so exclusive is because in the future, we'll also allow the caveman to receive airdrops from our upcoming projects that we plan to develop. And so that's kind of a general overview, but there's also some other things that we have planned. And Yeah, so I think that the way we've done it so far has been very successful because, as we see people become a hiker, they get more intrigued on, I want to rank up, I want to tier up, and so on. So yeah.
Just saw that on your Twitter earlier, you're going to have an ultra rare Olympian role for folks from your community that are joining today. So I thought that was a really cool touch.
Most definitely. I'm very excited about that. That was also something that the team kind of put together at the last minute and decided that, you know what, we should do this. So I think that'll also be pretty exciting.
Well, I know we're all pretty excited with that too. So, on your Twitter today, of course, the crypto world, it's ever changing. Things
Oh,
move.
yeah.
You walk away for a little bit and things change. Of course, Muzan needed to kind of pull back or Muzan needed to withdraw the multi-sig for unforeseen circumstances. And for
Right.
those not aware, our very own Olympian, Indy Za, is on your multi-chain or multi-sig. Are there any new updates for the team that you might be able to share regarding some of the multi-sig?
Uh, so as of now, our main targets are a couple of bigger influencers in the community that, as you guys know, Morgan Chapa, the Coffee Block. We have a few others. And then if Piki wants to speak on some other guys that he's come in contact with, we have a couple guys lined up that in case we can't get these influencers to partner with our multisig, then we'll have some other guys. So Piki, if you want to explain who those people are.
Yeah, so it was either Morgan or Coffee, but I just got an answer back 30 minutes ago from Morgan, from Coffee, and he said that he doesn't have time, which I understand, it's holiday season. But then I'm still waiting for Morgan to answer, and yeah, he still hasn't answered, and the community really wants him, so I hope I can make something work out with him. But I've also texted DeFi Daily. He's a YouTuber and he's doxed, so we're safe with him. I hope he also answers. And I've also got Shensai Renzo on the line, and I'm already in contact with him. So if anything, like worst case scenario, I already got a YouTuber and he's also doxed. So regarding safety, we should be okay. Hello?
Oh yeah, apparently Bruce cannot talk right now. Are you able, Bruce? Oh, we cannot hear you.
Yep. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
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 Yeah, apologies for that. I was just saying that I thought it was really cool that your community really chimed in very quickly when you announced that, and everybody was kind of saying, "Hey, here, reach out to this person." So it's really kind of a testament to your community and how involved they are with your project.
Yeah, we were initially very scared because in the beginning we've ensured that we didn't want like we focused on not having any fun at all. Like we tried to minimize any error before doing it. We would rethink and decide on things like 10 times before announcing it to the public. So having this Muzan tweet unexpectedly was very heartbreaking, to be honest. Like it was like we planned on everything. We've spoken with Muzan like weeks ago, like a week ago, to be honest, and for him to like withdraw from this was very heartbreaking. But in the end, like I spoke with him and I was like, just to be on good terms, could you just make a quick tweet and explain to the community why you've withdrawn? So we're good on both ends. And then he was nice enough to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's great that you guys were able to kind of bounce back from that so quickly. So that's fantastic news. So going into, we got pre-sale. I know we're going to be a little delayed on that, and maybe you can kind of talk a little bit more about the delay because I know we've got a lot of moving parts going on right now. Maybe some information on the delay of the pre-sale, and then can you maybe kind of explain how the vesting period will work?
Definitely. So the delay on the pre-sale is contingent on when we can get a different influencer on the multi-sig. So the way that will work is in the next couple of hours, we will finalize a influencer person on the multi-sig, making it me, my dev, the influencer, and then Indiza, making it 4-4. And then so after that, we will announce it. And then either 1 to 2 hours after that, we will then release the pre-sale. So once we can get someone on the multi-sig, which I'm very confident will be very soon, we will announce that along with the new time for the pre-sale launch. Then we'll go forward. So to answer the question on vesting, we actually are doing a 4-day period, both for the pre-sale and the public sale as well. So those who partake in those will be able to claim 25% of their tokens every day for 4 days, and then we'll be able to do whatever they want with them after. So I also saw a bunch of people asking in here, will there be a vesting period for the public sale? And that answer is yes, same as the pre-sale.
It does seem like a lot of folks are, we've seen a lot of changes the way DAOs have been working here, especially in the last week or so. So the updating for the vesting period personally kind of makes sense. And I think a lot of people that have been involved in this space for a while kind of understand the evolution of why the need for that. So thanks for the explanation. So looking through, I've got a couple more questions, and we'll throw things over to the community because I know we've got a lot of folks here that are looking to just get some clarity on some things. So your team has some really big plans. I was looking through your Medium articles and a lot of the stuff that you had on there. Can you share? You've got a couple of things on there that are kind of big. So one, Sierra blockchain. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then you've got on there some banking and decentralized real estate. Any like kind of future road mapping you can share with that?
Definitely. So kind of the whole way to explain this is before we even considered creating the DAO, the team that I had before, being my other two developers, we've been working on creating these type of protocols and platforms for quite some time. We discussed whether or not we would go to VCs or create some form of a crowdfund or crowd sale. And then when we actually found, or not found, but when we decided that we were going to use the Olympus model, we realized that we could actually do this at a much better scale. And so for an example, we have a DeFi real estate platform that we planned on introducing, and we were going to go to VCs for that, but now we're able to do it through our DAO. We have all of the platforms ready to go, being developed actively. And then we also have a couple other things, such as a carbon offset protocol. That another one of the devs that we've worked with in the past is wanting to launch it through our ecosystem. And then to kind of put that all into perspective, the Sierra blockchain is what we would run everything through. And so we would create these protocols on that chain, with the chain optimized for the things that we want to create. So banking, carbon offset protocols, D-web browsing is another one that we want to do. And then DeFi real estate is another ambitious thing that we really, really want to do.
That's awesome. So your blockchain, are you planning to like fork it? Is it going to be your own blockchain, or is this something that you're going to kind of fork a different blockchain that's existing? What are your kind of plans around that?
So as of now, we're still deciding on, either are we going to create our own entire thing or are we going to make it, a fork? But I think as of now, what we'll probably do is create an EVM, Ethereum EVM, kind of like Avalanche and everything else. And I think that's probably the best way to go about that right now, because the tool's already there. We just need to optimize it to make it one, efficient enough for us to use, and then two, compatible. And so we have a lot of different ideas. It's still in the works. But with the implementation of our own blockchain, we'll be able to make it much easier to run these ideas that we have and develop them.
Do you by chance foresee kind of your banking, although it's kind of a bad example, but like Anchor Protocol allows you to obviously deposit and earn interest, but you can also borrow against that. I know there's a lot of other things. Abra, allows you to do that. Is that kind of the vision for your banking kind of around that method, or do you have like a whole nother thing involved with kind of your idea and how you want to do banking?
We do, and that's the kind of Anchor idea is kind of what we're going for. But we also are working on some other things that our devs have thought of. And so kind of with a twist is the best way I can say it.
All right, all right. The last question I've got for you, and then I'm gonna let our community start asking some questions. So one of the big things with launch, everybody runs into these. We've got bots that jack the price up, and then everything going. I like a lot of what you're doing with the bonding, not the bonding, the vesting. Do you have any, are you still planning to implement some anti-bot features or unique kind of captcha verification to kind of protect against the botting on when you decided to launch?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that we've definitely thought of was the CAPTCHA idea, especially during our public sale to kind of mitigate the risk of having bots flood into the market. And then another thing that we're also doing, as many people know, the max allocation of tokens during the pre-sale is 200 tokens, which is something that we updated recently. And then actually during the public sale, instead of 200, it'll be 100 tokens, which just makes it a little bit harder for the bots to, come in and sweep up the supply. Um, and so yeah, that's what we're going for right now. We also have some other ideas that we're kind of in the works on, but haven't decided on, so we won't really talk about those. Um, but the CAPTCHA is definitely something that is probably necessary, because that will lower by an exponential amount of numbers the amount of bots that we have come into the public sale.
And I think I can probably agree with the majority of the folks that are in here that that's a very well it's very welcoming because that's a big
Right.
problem that I think every launch encounters. So really kind of kudos to you guys for implementing some of that stuff to try to protect your investors. Well,
Definitely.
awesome. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. I'm going to roll things over to our community now. So it looks like we've got some folks. I'm going to bring them up on stage. So look like we have first up Crypto to the Bone. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on over and see, get him over there. And then we'll go through a few of these. We'll bring some folks up to the stage, and then we also can go through and kind of bounce back and forth some of the questions in the chat.
Cool.
I believe his mic is not connected. Maybe we can bring someone else.
All right, Cyber Crypto.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
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 Hi. Well, thanks for having me on the stage. I have a question, and noticing the majority of launches here that it's sort of a pump and dump type of thing. What is what can we do here to bring people long term into the project? I'm a digital marketer myself,
Right.
and just recently, last month actually, Facebook has lifted quite a few restrictions on crypto advertising on
Yep.
Facebook, on the Facebook platform, on the Meta platform. And I urge the devs to look into it so that they can explore the Facebook platform. But besides that, what are you guys doing for a long term as opposed to just a few days of the price going up and it's slowly dropping down to 90% low from the high? So you guys have any ideas on what you will be implementing? That'd be great to hear. Thank you very
Right.
much.
I love that question. So to answer on kind of the long-term goal here and to make sure that we can sustain it, one thing that we also plan to do is implement long-term like holding rewards for our new projects. So say if you're holding for an X amount of time, you're eligible to receive an airdrop for our new project. And so that's something that we really believe will make people want to hold longer. And then for the marketing side, it's a very, very important thing. I know Peaky can speak on a little bit
Yeah.
more, but what we plan to do, we plan to allocate a lot to marketing. I mean, that's kind of the machine that drives everything. And then community as well. Like that to us, that is one of the most important things. Having a tight knit community that all is focused on the same goal. For example, like if you're new into the project and you come in and you see this community, and you can tell like, okay, these people really believe in this, and these people are really like here for the long term. It kind of just converts everyone who comes in and makes them believe and gives them the tools to believe through what we're doing. And then I'll let Piki talk on kind of,
Yeah.
the marketing goal as well.
So for the marketing, like I think we've all been in a lot of DAOs. We've seen how they function and how they allocate their funds and stuff. So everyone has a big budget for marketing, but it barely gets used until a project dies, and most of the time the devs just take it for themselves. But my plan is actually I really want to get that budget using. So first thing first is after launch I'll be getting YouTube content up, Twitter, influencers, and Instagram as well. After that, I'll be running Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook ads, the automated ones. So not via content, but just do you guys know what I mean with the automated ones? Like the ones you pay Facebook and them to promote it. And hello.
Yeah, I'm still here. Thanks.
Oh, okay. And my next plan is also going really big, billboards, probably YouTube advertisement. Depends all on the budget, and I also want to get votes going on using a big chunk, like 50K, 100K, to literally get influencers or big crypto people in, like along the lines of BitBoy and, the big names in crypto. So I really want to get that funds used. Like, I don't want it to set aside and use it gradually. I want to go big. Like, I want to take part of the treasury and literally use it for marketing, because the thing that drives DAOs are literally marketing. I need people to get in and stake, and that's the way the DAO is going to run.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate your answer. I think you answered the correct point. So I look forward to seeing the community grow, and I'll be here for it.
That's great to hear, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Up next, we've got Marco, and then we'll go to Blockchain Brian, and then we'll take a couple of, we'll let you guys take a look, see at some questions in the chat and answer some of those.
Awesome. Thanks for taking my question. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, so, and I'll be super brief. Just wanted to know, just kind of like your perspective, like what are you most bullish on? And then you had kind of touched on a little bit on the DeFi real estate, and just kind of wanted to see if you could expound on that as well.
Definitely. So I'll answer the DeFi real estate thing as well. That's kind of been a passion project that we've had for a while. We want to tokenize real world assets, and that's kind of just real estate as a whole. That's kind of just what we would put it as in the forefront. But tangible assets as a whole is something that we really want to go for. And so like one thing that we're really bullish on wanting to be able to create is like purchasing, getting loans, all that type of stuff for a home through an NFT and something like that is what we really want to do. But in the entirety itself, that's kind of like our main position here, developing projects that people will actually use and feed off of, and then in return benefits the people that are participating in our ecosystem and interacting with it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for your question.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
Hey guys,
Blockchain Brian, you can ask.
yeah, I appreciate you bringing me up here. So, it sounds like you guys are very ambitious. I love that. I love betting on ambition, right? The only problem with ambition is sustainability and length of time that it usually takes to kind of achieve those goals, right? And so, kind of talking about sustainability here, which is what my question's around, is, from a community standpoint, as well as from a tokenomic standpoint here, how are you guys trying to make sure that everything is healthy and sustainable long term, so that way you're able to achieve your goals, which are ambitious and awesome.
Definitely. So I think with the sustainability thing, we're going to take everything one step at a time instead of approaching everything, right away. For example, like each of our projects, we're not going to all implement them at the same time, to keep everything going. And then with sustainability on the DAO itself, like we're not gonna keep crazy APYs the whole time, and because I mean you've seen in the past couple weeks with some of these projects, I mean I won't even talk about the other ones, but I mean some of these projects are doing like 700% ROI on the weekly, and
For marketing
it's killing
purposes.
them. It's killing them. And so that is something that we don't want to be associated with. I mean, we're here for the long term, and we're going to keep doing that. So one step at a time, not going too over the top with everything that we're doing. And I think that we can
Yeah, and to add
ensure
to
that we
that,
get
I don't want the marketing to rely on our APY. So I don't want people to come and invest in or stake Sierra because of the APY we have. So, like, to get this clear, we're not gonna have huge APYs to get people coming in and whatever. Just like the usual that we've been doing these days.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's definitely kind of what I was hitting at there. No, I appreciate, guys, you kind of answered there. You say not too over the top, but we're gonna get to the top of the mountains here.
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you for
Have a
your
good one.
question.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Climbing the mountain together. All right. Do you guys want to take a look through at some of the questions in chat and see if there's anything interesting that you want to pull out?
Definitely. So I've seen one go through a couple times from a couple different people, which is, do you guys plan to expand your team in the future? And the answer is yes. We want to expand a lot. I mean, the more the better, but we want to make sure that we're getting the best. Um, and I think Peaky is a great example. I mean, we started with 3 people. He came in, he had good ideas, and we worked with it, and we realized that okay, he's someone that we really want to be on our team, and we can see him as a vital asset in the future. And so that's a great way, kind of to sum up our goals and plans on expanding. So yeah. And then Peaky, if you have any question that you'd like to answer from the chat, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so I saw someone talk about the outsourcing devs, which I believe the guy asked with regards to safety, because of these days, all the problems that are coming with DAOs and all the failed launches are because of outsourced devs. So no, we don't have outsourced devs. So that's a good sign. And yeah, that was a question I wanted to talk about. And I also saw someone talking about the marketing with regards to the API, which I already mentioned. We're not going to have huge APIs just for marketing purposes. We really want everything slowly, and we're not going to launch all the news all at once. We just want to we just want to have ammo. So it's going to be once a week or twice a week or whatever, just to keep hype up and running.
No,
So
I
I
would
see another.
definitely agree. Sustainability is key. No, I was just kind of agreeing with that sustainability is going to be key kind of going forward with any project.
Definitely. So I see another question now from Pev. He says, how long has the platform been in development, and how ready are the planned features? So most of the protocols that we want to kind of introduce in the future, we've been working on them since the start of, I believe, around May. That's kind of just been slowly developing them, figuring out what works. We haven't built the communities around them because we were waiting to do that until we could, actually put it in place. But the planned features, all it is right now that is necessary to, get them out. After launch, once we're ready, we can then fire those off as they come.
Okay, maybe we can bring someone else to speak.
Sure.
Yep, I've got a couple. I'm waiting for them to. There we go, Rivian.
Riven?
Riven, I think you're muted. While he's working on those technical difficulties, I'm gonna get somebody. There we go. M3 Dane.
Good evening. Well, good evening for me at least. Thanks for the AMA. I asked this question in the chat also, but I was just wondering, considering the recent downfall of many DAOs, which I know focused a lot on DGen APY. What would you say makes these projects different or unique compared to other well-established existing OM forks, such as Time, Hector, DAO, or OM itself? Like how will you separate yourself from what they offer, like the 4.4 or the 9.9, the looping?
Definitely. So I think the way that we'll separate ourselves the most is through our projects that we plan on developing. I mean, not that many projects that you see, or not that many forks that you see at least, are planning on implementing, real world application things. And so I think once we get those set off, that will really show, the people that are coming to us that like this is a completely different thing. And to kind of go on top of that, like the platform itself, it's a fork, but the way or the reason we use this is, we didn't want to go to VCs. We didn't want to do the classic thing. We didn't want to have outside owned liquidity. We wanted the protocol and liquidity. We wanted to be able to, build the community around the liquidity, be able to have our community decide on, what we create and what we develop. And so, yeah, I think in the long term that will truly set us apart. And so, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I wanted to just add something, if I may, like just what was
Sure.
the real estate applications that you have kind of picked a little bit?
So what we started to do, it was a tokenized asset management protocol, and an application for that one is real estate, but you can also automobile, all that stuff, land, everything like that. And so we wanted to tokenize real world assets, and that was kind of the way we approached it at first. But once you start digging into that, there's a lot of other things that you can do, and we will 100% explain all the ideas that we have around that. But kind of real estate is the one that we saw at the whole is kind of the main thing. Being able to buy, get approved for your home, get a loan, everything NFT instantly. And so that's kind of the idea that we have. Putting in place the actual protocol is um, not really the issue that we were looking at the beginning, but it's getting adopters and people to support it at the beginning. And so that's kind of one of the reasons why we actually chose the DAO.
Okay. Thank you very much for the answers, and thanks again for the ammo.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Cool. Wow, you got something? Or wow?
Well, guys, do you hear me?
Nah, we cannot hear you very well.
Sorry, my mic isn't that good.
That's better now.
So I have a simple question.
Yep.
What are the success criteria that will indicate that objectives have been achieved?
So your question was, what is the criteria that will indicate that the protocol is
Objectives get
successful?
achieved. Yep, exactly.
Definitely. So, I mean, obviously, the growth of the token, the treasury expanding, that's one thing. But if you look on the outside, I think the main success and the key points will come from, when we actually put these projects that we have in mind into place. And that's just the first step, putting it into place. Okay, that's a success, but actually being able to expand them and scale, that's the next kind of step in the success criteria. So I think that's kind of what will show, we're being successful. Um, and so yeah, that's the best way I'd explain it.
Okay. So thank you for the answer and the summer.
Thank you
Yeah,
for your
guys.
question.
I was wondering, can I add on a couple of things I'm reading in the chat?
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm reading about mentioning BitBoy. So the reason I mentioned him was as an example how we're focusing on reaching exposure. So he's one of the most viewed guys or YouTubers on with regards to crypto content. So what I meant with having him as one of our promoters, if our marketing budget allows us, or if the people allow it, then he allows us for the best exposure. So initially, we want to get as much exposure as possible, and then focus on the other things. So, and regarding some questions about why we haven't been able to market big already, is because most of the big influencers like Siam Kid, Take a Green Pill, or whoever else you guys know, I've contacted them all, but the problem is they don't want to be part of a DAO that hasn't launched yet, due to all the risks involved with it, so that they don't want to hurt their reputation, which I totally understand. So the plan is that after launch, we're going to be contacting them and get them on board. And for each of the marketing we will be doing, I'll just set out the options and I'll let the community decide on which path to go with. So it's not going to be me that's going to choose. I'm just going to be setting the options based on community suggestions and then get the marketing going on whatever they decide.
Okay, great. I believe Choda is. You can talk. Your.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I was just curious because you have a lot of things that you want to prepare for the Sierra ecosystem, like the DeFi, real estate, and banking and stuff. I was just wondering which one is the most important idea you want to implement, and how long would you need for to introduce it to the community? Like when can we expect it to come?
Definitely. So to answer that, and we haven't talked on it much, but it's our carbon offset protocol. I'm sure most of you have heard of Clima, but it's very different. And we actually started doing that because we've worked with a dev in the past that we were actually going to introduce this with. And then we came to him a couple weeks before we decided to open the DAO. And we introduced the idea to run it through a DAO with him. And so I think as of now, that's the most important because it's the most ready to go. And I think it's a thing that needs to happen right now, especially, current, the carbon offset is actually, it's something that we want, not only that we want to do, but it's actually needed. So I think that's the most important thing right now.
All right. Thank you so much for answering the question.
Thank you. Xiao, I believe it's your name. You can talk. You're muted. Hello? Okay, maybe we can bring someone else.
Yep, just waiting on them to accept the request. I guess in the meantime, we can take some more questions from the chat.
Okay, one just joined.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi guys. I have a question regarding the new announcements that have been made today during the AMA.
Definitely.
So what would you guys say is the motivation for doubling the token supply so close to launch? And do you guys not think that having that much whitelist allocation will scare off buyers?
So to answer your question, we're not actually doubling the supply, but we're allowing since we have so many whitelisted users, and we've looked at it and realized that not everyone's going to participate at a max rate in the hiker role. So we've doubled the amount that they can use in order for us to ensure that we can complete a pre-sale. And so I think obviously, since we have a lot of whitelisted users, and a concern is that one, it'll scare off buyers, and two, that it'll cause a dump. But I think with the one with the vesting, and then two also with holding is key in this project, as you're going to be able to get rewards from holding that aren't just tokens back into your wallet, airdrops and everything else like that.
Oh, okay. And just quickly as a follow-up on that, it's I mean, both of the things that you just mentioned are already things that you knew about before today's AMA. So I'm wondering, like, is there like another reason? Because all of these things you already knew about. So
No, we didn't. We didn't really know how many people how many people have really connected their wallet with crypto sign. So we implemented a new method to be collecting whitelist addresses, which is safe and secure, and we used crypto sign. And through that, we were able to see how many people are actually connecting their wallets instead of having the role. And we saw that only 60% actually connected their wallet. And based on our estimations, not everyone would be max allocating. So this would be really, yeah, it would be horrible for us. We wouldn't be even able to get like 200, 300K out of it. So we thought, okay, it's either we increase the whitelist or whatever we did now, which is increase the max allocation for tier 1s. And this,
okay.
there shouldn't be any worry about dumping, because what we've also done is we've increased the price of our public sale. So we also believe that since everyone is not maxing out, the people that will be maxing out and the people that will be going below what we think they'll be allocating will be balancing each other. So we're hoping that with what we've done and with not having a minimum, while most DAOs have a minimum like of 500 minimum or whatever, we thought of having no minimum allows people to invest whatever they feel safe with, and the people that are more riskier and the people that feel better about us could go with a max allocation, and in the end that would create a balance and offset for whoever is not max allocating.
Okay,
and those we didn't know until yesterday.
Okay, thanks for answering my questions. Just really quickly, you said that you increased the public sale price. Is it not going to be $17 anymore?
No, so it was never going to be $17. That wasn't in the
Yeah,
that was
it was
never
going to be 10.
announced. It was going to be 10, and then we decided to make it 20% higher than
I think you're confused with the launch price.
Oh yeah, I might be confused with another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the launch price is supposed to be $17.
Yes.
And that's on the 28th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks. Close the door. You can talk.
Yo, hi guys. You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just want to check with you guys. I'm investing is 4 days, so actually you guys already prevent part of the dumping. But I mean, what comes after the vesting? I believe you guys might see like a dump of the price of SRA. But any plans on doing any events or something to maybe get the price back up?
Yeah, so I think Peaky can want to answer that a little bit, as well as me, with how we are incentivizing holding, and so I'll let Peaky answer that as well.
So initially, what we wanted to do was decrease our initial liquidity, what we had set aside for liquidity, and then we decided no, we want to keep it at $600,000. And to offset the dumping, we're going to be using some of our treasury, allocate some of our treasury to buybacks. But we believe that there won't be as heavy dumping due to the vesting period, and we believe that as there will be dumps, new buyers will offset the dump. But yeah, for now, our plans are just with the buybacks, and as you already said, like with our upcoming protocols and the plans we have for our project, holding will be better. So we will be really advertising on holding, which we believe will also increase holding pressure by like 10-20%.
I see. Just one more question quickly. So, where do you guys see yourself in maybe the next 3 to 6 months? Are you guys planning to do something big, like maybe like other ohms, like maybe time or like ohms or something like this?
I mean, in 3 to 6 months, we see ourselves, and probably in 3 months, honestly, we see ourselves implementing our first project, which will probably be the carbon offset. And so that's something that we plan to do in the near time frame, but in the following time frame, introducing our new projects, continuing to develop, and so yeah.
I see. Thanks, man. That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for your question.
Thanks. CS, you can talk.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hear me? Yeah, hey, fine, and you? Sorry for my bad English, but I'm trying. Okay. So I have some question. My question is: most OHM fork have tendency to pump early and then slowly bleed out. People buy and stack for short while, especially during the promotion API, and then just selling everything, which crash the price. How will Sierra DAO handle this differently from other OHM fork, most of which are not successful with solving this problem?
So your question was, how are we going to eliminate the? Are you saying like? Can you repeat your
Yes.
question?
My question is, did you do something for the stacking for the long term?
Okay, so you're saying staking for the long term.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
so we
you-
definitely do. Yeah, so we definitely do plan on having long-term staking incentives as well as actual holding incentives. Like I said earlier, to make sure that we're actually holding. We're kind of going to do the same thing with the holding incentives. So the longer you stake, the longer you hold, you'll actually be able to receive rewards in our new projects.
Okay.
Thanks. Basims, you can talk. Basims, you're muted. Okay, sorry, but didn't Cyber Crypto already talk? So, because we would rather have one user per question.
Thanks a lot. So, I a quick question just for my community here that we sort of new to this thing. So, what are you guys doing in order to ensure that people understand how to interact with your protocol and what it means to bond and stake, and so that people who aren't very familiar with investing in DAOs, they're not as scared as to put their money into it, you know? So what type of education are you planning on bringing in to help people that need some more information about it? That's all.
Definitely. So if you go in our Discord actually now, there's a section, or there's a couple sections actually that explain, how to use MetaMask, how to bond, how to stake. And then we also are making sure that our docs are clearly stated on, how to do everything. And so I think for the education standpoint, that's really important. Obviously, as more retail comes in, people that aren't as familiar with, the DAO model itself, I think that us being able to clearly educate everyone either through our Discord, our Twitter, our posts, Medium, and then as well as our docs, we'll actually be able to educate most people that are needing to ask questions on how to do everything. Is it safe? How it works?
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, sorry, I know you all have a lot of questions, but we are more than 250 people right now, so let's just limit to one question per user. Thank you. Mr. Sido, you can talk.
Hello, everybody. So you said it will be just one question. I had three questions, but I'll just go with one. So in your Medium article, it says it'll be 15% of the pre-sale will be going to Sierra team, which will be moderators and admin. So is there any lock-in period for that 15%?
Yeah, so I mean, the way it'll work is, as we collect the funds from the pre-sale, the MIM will actually be distributed into these people's accounts. And we're making sure that we're rewarding our mods and admins the most, obviously, because they put in a ton of work. If you've looked at the Discord, it's the reason it's so successful is because of our admin and our mods. And so that's kind of just as a token of appreciation to support them for all the work that they put in so far.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thanks. Now, Raven, you should. Sorry for that. I muted you in a previous AMA, so you can go.
Yeah, no worries. I had the same problem last time. No worries. Thank you. Hey, Sierra, thank you for having us. My question was regarding the current state of the market. It's not the best at the moment. Pretty high projects are not performing as usual. And what I was wondering is because I cannot search on your Medium, how much are the allocations and how much are you raising in total?
Yeah, so if you go on our most recent Medium post, we have the allocations as percentages, just to ensure that, when we finalize the pre-sale and public sale, we can get exact numbers. And so I think, or also to answer your question, how much we're raising, our goal is to raise $1 million throughout the pre-sale and public sale combined. And so, yeah, the allocations, most of it, we will be focusing on adding it to the liquidity, and then being able to back it through the treasury, and then also, marketing, and then being able to pay our moderators and admins for their work.
Okay, no, yeah, thank you. No, that is a reasonable amount, especially for the amount of members you have in your Discord, like almost 17,000, 1 million seems like a decent amount. I was just making sure that it was not like a ludicrous amount, like 3 or 4 million, like some projects are doing. So, yeah, no, great job. Thank you for answering
Definitely.
the question.
Thank you for your
Thanks.
question.
Thank you. Ken, you're up.
Hello, hi. In these past few weeks, we've seen a few DAOs that got affected badly, like Jade Protocol, as well as Spartacus Finance. So, supposing in the event that the price of your token drops significantly and affects and demotivates every member of this DAO. So, what are your plans to avoid that? And if that does happen, then do you have any plans to counter the effect?
Yeah, definitely. So to answer the how we plan to counter the effect, especially with the market, one, projects that we're planning to implement, and then two, also not having extremely high staking or APY rewards. I think that's one thing that kind of defeats the purpose of sustainability, and we plan to avoid that.
Okay, thank you. Meow, you can talk. Meow, you can. I think you're muted. Okay, maybe we'll bring someone else. Natalie?
Natalie, you might be muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to ask how does like the DeFi real estate and banking system and like the carbon protocol synergize together? Thanks.
Sorry, can you repeat that last part of your question?
Yes, I wanted to ask like how does Sierra's real estate and banking system and the carbon protocol synergize together?
Yeah, definitely. So the way that we plan to kind of have them all work together is one, through our blockchain. They'll all call that home. And then two, obviously supported through the actual DAO itself. And so having them feed off of that is what'll be the most important thing for them to be able to work together.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
All right, I guess let's take some more chats from, or not take some more chats. Let's answer some more chats.
Yeah, Piki, if you see any questions that you'd like to answer, you can go ahead.
You, do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I had a question about whitelists and the vesting system. Could you explain it to me, please? And do all the different tiers of whitelists get the same vesting?
I
Yeah,
believe.
so the vesting.
Oh, sorry, because didn't you answer that already?
Go ahead.
Or...
Go ahead. I'll explain the vesting again though. So the way it'll work, both for the public and pre-sale, it'll be a 4-day period, 25% each day.
And it's the same for all whitelists.
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot, buddy.
All right, DeFi Bunny.
I believe you're muted.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. First question. So wondering why is the smart contract so late in revealing? Hence Muzan leaving, and also next is will those who buy at public pre-sale also have the vesting period?
Yeah, so the vesting period is the same for both the public and the pre-sale. And to answer the smart contract with how he wanted to review it and he didn't have enough time, we wanted to make sure that the contract itself was actually more secure than it currently was. And we were looking through that. And so we've also been talking to Indiza about, the review and making sure that we're checking off all the boxes for what he says that, we should make sure that we have, that he's seen in other projects and reviewed that, weren't as enticing when looking at it from an outside point of view. And so over the past couple of days, we've been making sure that, what we have in the smart contract is safe for the investors.
Another question is, are you guys opening up to delaying, or will it be the same timeline as it is now?
Yeah, so I think we answered that in the beginning of the AMA, and the answer to that was what we're going to be doing as we have to find another influencer to replace Muzan. After this AMA ends, probably in the next 1 to 2 hours, we'll have somebody that is going to join the multisig. And then once we announce the new member of the multisig, which would be an influencer, we would announce the time for the pre-sale to start, which would only be 1 to 2 hours after that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your question.
Harris?
Hey, yes, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I think we lost
Okay.
you. Can you talk again?
Maybe. Hey, can you guys hear me again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so there were a couple of changes, and obviously one of them is explained, but the other one, that's the vesting period. We noticed that it has switched from 5 days to 4 days. Is there a reason for that?
There's no specific reason. The 4-day period is just more efficient.
Can you explain that? Why is the 4-day period more efficient than the 5 days?
Well, for one, it allows people to claim their tokens and actually use them once we actually officially launch, allowing them to stake and do all that. For a 5-day period, for example, if someone was to claim all their tokens within the period, opposed to a 4-day period, it would if people were to sell all their tokens, it would kind of negate the vesting period by a day, and then as well as it just allows for everyone to actually be able to use their tokens.
Okay, I completely understand that, but the whole reason for the vesting period, and probably there will also be a rebase warm-up period, I assume, and the whole reason for that period is obviously to negate people dumping. Why do you think it's more efficient to release those funds earlier if we're trying to prevent dumping?
Well, because we'll also be able to initiate buybacks and everything like that. So obviously it's only a day difference. We don't expect it to cause that much of a difference in the actual price of the token itself. And then with the other measures that we're putting into place to make sure that there isn't mass dumping along with the bot prevention and all of that, we're just more confident with the calculations that the dev team has made that the 4-day period is more efficient.
Okay, awesome. I had another question, but I don't want to take up too much time. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thanks. Jive, you can talk.
Hey guys, good evening. And I just wanted to check with you. You have 3 tiers of whitelisting. So does that confirm the minimum guaranteed allocation for these 3 tiers?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Okay, I see that you guys have 3 tiers of whitelisting. One is the hiker, the other one is a climber, and then you have one more tier. And I could see that the pricing varies for each one of these tiers. Now, my question to you is, does this guarantee the minimum token allocation for the members of these tiers?
Yeah, so it does. And I mean, if you're talking about the minimum allocation per user, we do have that set into place. And it doesn't change throughout the tiers.
Okay, I just want to double click on this once again. See, there are 2 ways to do this. See, technically today what's happening is there is a gas war. Okay, people go and try to grab as much as possible and there is a bot play. Now, you could reverse this whole play. What you could do is you could capture the payment or capture the required amount of AVAX or FTM, whatever you're dealing with, and then release the tokens to their wallets. That is a minimum commitment. Rather than people trying to fight and do the gas war, there could be a guaranteed minimum allocation done. So this is what I'm hoping. That way you'll have a happy community, because I definitely believe you have a large community. Else, what happens is half of the community are left with empty bags.
Yeah, so I completely understand what you mean. And yes, I 100% agree. That's what we will do.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
LB, you can talk.
I don't speak English.
Okay.
Grosse force à tous les Français. Tous mes FR là. Grosse effort les frères.
Sorry, but we'll try to keep this in English.
Bye bye.
Astarion, you can talk. Astarion?
Hi. Thanks for letting me talk, and thanks for this AMA. I have a question about the DAO aspect for governance. So, how much does the community have to vote for, let's say, marketing allocations for all the projects, like the real estate, the block, all the other projects you guys have? So, I just want to know how are you guys going to involve the community towards the governance votes and everything? Thank you.
Yeah, so one way that we really plan to involve the community, especially for marketing, one, choosing influencers that we want to partner with, and then as well as also partnership with other DAOs. We'll hold votes on, who we want to partner with, and then we'll also take suggestions from other people, and then we'll hold votes on that. So we really want to involve the community with most of the decisions that we make, and I think that will kind of be the way that we do it.
Thank you.
Thanks for your question.
Okay, I don't think we have anyone left. Oh yeah, Bus, you can talk. No, we cannot
Hello?
hear you. Oh yeah, now we can, yeah.
Hello? Yes, thank you for having this opportunity to be on the stage. I have I have a little bit concern about what happened in the last maybe 10 days about the other forks. So my concern is there a plan like for limiting the withdrawals like per hour or per day, just to avoid like what we saw in the last couple of days? Because what was happening, because I keep tracking up the other maybe wallets and other people who have been investing, like the big whales and all of that. They just like they dump in the money. I mean, like they put in invest the money and just wait for the rebase, and after that they pull out the money, and the whole coin collapse, and like it caused also a panic other investors. So like everyone start to also to withdraw the money. So is there any plan for maybe limiting the withdrawals per hour or per day or a percentage or maybe you did answer this and I didn't catch it. So
Yeah, so I mean, for one, I think that to answer your question, one thing that we're really going to do is make sure that we have rewards for holding for an extended period of time. And then two, we're also planning on implementing tokenomics that will be announced, obviously before launch, that will help prevent that. So we will be doing everything that we can do to make sure that we avoid that.
that's also one of the most important things, like just to have a healthy project, stronger community, and like Sierra, we can see Sierra coming big and big and big. And we just want to avoid these, opportunists that just they dump in. I mean, that they put the money in, and then just wait for the rebase to happen, just to collect some money and get out of the project. It's the only thing I'm just worried about.
Right. So yeah, like I said, the holding incentives as well, making sure that for one, they're not just waiting for a rebase. That will help prevent it, and then also other tokenomics that we're going to look into and make sure that we can also build on top to help avoid.
That would be perfect.
Yep.
Thank you
for your
very much. I
question.
appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
No big deal. You can talk.
Hi, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So I was part of the Candyland project. I know the Olympians did an AMA on it, and I'm not too sure if you guys were aware of what happened with that one in terms of the multi-sig. But they were saying that there was no multi-sig on the whitelist deposits. It was only on the treasury. So I'm not a crypto expert. So I was wondering if you do have multi-sig on, I guess, the whitelist deposit contribution, so that you don't have the same scenario that occurred with Candyland. If you're aware of it.
Yeah. So the whitelist will be the one that manages all of the withdrawals, and after the pre-sale is over, will be the one that manages all the funds.
Okay, cool. So I only had one other question. Everyone, obviously, there was a lot of talk about people dumping, and that obviously that causes a lot of panic and causes the price to like skyrocket and dump. Would you ever consider doing like a whale tax, where essentially like if you take out more than like 1% to 10%, you get taxed at like an increasing rate to prevent people from dumping?
Yeah, definitely. And Piki can speak on that too if he was talking.
What I was thinking, I was speaking like the whole 10 minutes ago, but apparently, yeah, something was up with my mic, so I left and then rejoined. But to speak about taxes, so what we were thinking that it isn't like fixed and stuff, but we'll still have a vote on this. What we were thinking is, despite all the rebase warm-up periods and all that, we were thinking to implement a 4%, 5% tax on people that buy and sell on the same day. So, or even perhaps on the same block. So let's say you buy and sell on the same block, they have a 10% tax. If you buy and sell on the same day, you're going to have a 2% tax, and go down progressively as the days go by. So I was thinking we could also probably have a 5-day tax period. So let's say if you're buying today, then if you sell within 5 days, you're going to pay 2% tax or whatever. It just to incentivize people to not sell and literally hold. So
Yeah,
I think we still have to vote on this. It's not like set and stuff. It's just ideas that we've already thought of.
Do you mind if I send you an idea of what some other DAOs are doing in terms of whale
Yeah.
tax? Yeah. No worries. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night.
Oh, yeah, you can talk.
Hi, thank you. I was just wondering how much will they affect like the Bitcoin price going up to the pre-sale price and the price going up as Bitcoin goes up. So like how much would affect it? Like that don't know if I explained myself that well, but I wanted to mean like how much will Bitcoin affect, like the price of Bitcoin affect to the pre-sale of our sale, basically.
I think that should I speak or do you want? I think what I personally believe is price is something that everyone is really concerned about, but it's not something that we can really do about. I don't think Bitcoin would really affect DAOs in general, to be honest. It's DAOs as together an index. If they go down, they all go down together. So what I would assume is if you change your question to how it would affect if time or OHM went up and down. I don't think Bitcoin is really correlated with DAOs, unless I'm wrong, but so far that I've seen. So I don't believe there will be much of an effect.
Yeah, I think I actually agree with what you just said. The
What I
only sorry, yeah, sorry.
What I do believe is if time or OHM or all the other big DAOs go up, then this will be better for us because that's positively correlated. Because let's say, for instance, if time goes up or OHM goes up and most of the people are investing in those two, then they could potentially take profits and put more into our project. So there would be a positive correlation between those two, but not with Bitcoin.
Yeah, like for sure, like with other DAOs, but maybe not that much with Bitcoin. Yeah, I've seen other DAOs that now actually the time have been going down, but yeah, I don't think that Bitcoin does that much of importance to maybe this DAO or other DAOs. But yeah, I hope that other DAOs go going up in price, and I hope when we start, everything goes in the right way.
Yeah, we hope that too.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bratok, you can talk.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So I have a quick question. So do you guys plan on having some kind of alternative way to fund the treasury besides people bonding? For example, let's say there is a dump, people sell, your token goes down, and you want to have some kind of alternative source to start buying it back to stabilize the price.
Yeah, so if I'll first answer your question, if Jack wants to add anything on top of that, then that's fine. But so first thing first is we want to have our pre-sale funds ready and already start building the treasury within the first week of launch. So we could already start investing into time, OHM, or even Klima, or whatever the community chooses, because I personally believe at such low prices, we could take advantage of the fact that the DAOs are in general all down. So if you already start investing into one of those big OHM forks or time itself, then we could easily double our invested money, which means that our treasury will go up. What we also are planning to do is exchange or invest into other DAOs and then bring back their coins into our treasury and then have them do that as well. One, this increases our exposure to other DAOs. So for instance, what I'm talking about are partnerships. And second, we're going to have big funds allocated to our coin. So for instance, if we're going to partnership with, I'm not going to name any DAO. So let's say Olympian DAO. We're going to talk with them and then get to terms. And then let's say we start agreeing on a 50K swap. So we'll buy 50K of their tokens at a determined price and they'll buy 50K of our tokens. And then we just put it in our treasury and they do that as well. So this will in turn increase the exposure on the marketing side. And if the DAO does well, our money goes up and so will theirs. So those are all potential ways of increasing our treasury.
Cool, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Agitak, I think you were next.
Yeah, can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a quick question, which is, could you tell us why you choose the Avalanche blockchain for the project?
Yeah, definitely. So we didn't want to choose Ethereum, obviously, because it's much slower. And then we also liked Avalanche's ecosystem as a whole. And I think Avalanche is starting to expand too. And personally, it's one of my favorite chains. And so I think being able to be one of the first to actually, have a project on Avalanche and start doing that and expanding the ecosystem as a whole is something that was really important. And so yeah, that's kind of my answer.
Okay, so it was like a real personal opinion about the blockchain that pushed you towards this, right?
To an extent.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Thanks. Maybe we can answer a few more questions before wrapping this up, if you want.
Sure.
Chasaristic, you can talk.
Hope everyone can hear me. Just a quick one from my side, and this might be better directed to mods, but whilst I'm here, I might as well. For those of us that are whitelisted and went through, signed up and everything, I don't know about anyone else, but I get anxious that I fumbled my bag. So is there any way just to double check that our contract addresses have been received and so on and so forth?
If you go to the crypto sign again on the website, it will take you to the website, and then it will show you that you're connected, that your MetaMask is connected. Like,
Love
just
that,
redo
guys.
the. Sorry?
I said love for that. It's a real simple answer. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. Okay, they all joined at once. Tolamavo, you can talk. Sorry, Xiao, you've already asked the question, so sorry, but I'll move you to audience.
So you're KYC.
Yes, we did KYC with Assure DeFi.
Yeah, but Muzan should have multisig, but he can't. So will you replace him with somebody?
Yeah, so we will, and we plan to do so in the next 1 to 2 hours. We actually are in contact with a couple of other influencers, and Peaky has actually spoken to a few of them so far that are ready to do it. And so right now we're looking for our main ones, such as Morgan Chapa, the Coffee Block, and a couple other ones. But if for some reason that we cannot end up doing a multi-sig with them, then we'll look or we'll use one of the other ones that are ready to go.
Sorry, the one who just asked the question asked another one before, so I had to move to move him to audience. Quarantine, you can talk.
All right, can you hear me properly?
Yep.
Okay, I have a question. Last time I checked, there was no pistol contract released. Can you release it before the whitelist?
Yeah, so it's actually released already. We've already sent it over to Indiza to do the review. And so that'll be done before we launch the pre-sale.
All right, can you put me to the source? Where can I find it for myself?
So that'll be in our Discord. And actually after this AMA, we'll make an announcement for the community where they can go and view that.
All right, perfect. And one question about the multisig. How many people will there be with the influencer that you're gonna get on board as well?
So the multi-sig will have 4 people in it. Indiza, myself, one of the team devs, and then an influencer that we choose to replace Muzan.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Okay, you guys want to wrap this up, or do you want to keep answering questions from the chat?
We can do whatever. Peaky, do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I want to address, to be honest, a couple of things I've seen in the chat. Someone mentioned, how can DAOs invest in other DAOs? So, like, we're not investing like 50% of our treasury. We're investing literally like a couple percent, like 2-3% of our treasury, and this is beneficial to us in the long term because we're just launching, and being able to secure a partnership with a DAO that has already launched and already has a following base. This just benefits us better. We're going to have better exposure. We're going to have potentially take their following base and make people that invest in that particular DAO invest in our DAO. So it just does us good. And I know it hasn't been done before, or I'm not really sure if it has been done, but just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it's not possible. That was just one thing I really wanted to touch on because I saw a lot of chatter about it in the chat.
All right. Any other questions you guys want to address in the chat before I guess we wrap things up?
I'll just do one more look through and see if there's anything that hasn't been asked yet, and then yeah, we'll finish up.
Poke Nader has a question about how we will. We've got a lot of hype right now, and how we will handle the hype or continue to have the hype. So my plan is with the marketing. As I said, I already told the team after we're done with launching, once we're done with all the headache we have with whitelist and sorting all of that out, we can really focus as a team on the marketing. Like just as a whole group, sit down and really talk about what our plan is going to be, how we're going to tackle this, and who we will get on board for our promotions. And this will keep the hype going. And as I said, we've got a lot of projects coming up, and we plan to release them, or as we continually progress, we plan to release announcements on them. And after launch, people really want the devs or the team to keep in contact and engage with the community. So I personally will be sending out the announcements every day after launch, just to ensure that we're still there, we're still working. Just because we're done with the pre-sale, just because we've launched, doesn't mean we're not working. We're actually going to be working harder to achieve what we've all mentioned. Just on the ethical standpoint, we don't want to be those people that just have those crazy sugar talks going on. We really want to show the people that we're really here, and we really want to be among the top 10 DAOs that exist. So I believe our ambition is going to be one of the reasons that the hype will still be there.
Right, fantastic. Or do we want to take? We've got a couple more folks that look like they're new in voice. Or do we want to? It's I guess up to our host. Do you guys want to take a couple more questions before we wrap up?
Yeah, we'll take a few more.
Let me go ahead and add these to voice. All right, V, you're on.
You're muted. I believe at least I cannot hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now yes.
Yeah.
All right, right on. I just had a kind of a question, more specifics regarding governance. You kind of alluded to it earlier, taking member votes, but it wasn't very specific. You kind of addressed the first half of the previous questioner regarding marketing. So I was curious how you wanted to structure governance and how much of a say and what voting thresholds are going to be used to decide certain factors.
Yeah, so as of now, we don't actually I saw a question actually that kind of related to yours a couple minutes ago. It says, will it be based on the staked amount someone has or equally for everyone? And it'll be based on the staked amount. Obviously, we want our community to have a big say in most of everything that we do, and we'll continue to do that. But in general, it'll be a regular governance model. But obviously with the staked amount deciding the factor on how big of a say you have.
Okay, thank you. So potentially a whale or someone with a much larger bag would be able to sway things a little bit more?
To an extent, we're going to work on ways that not one person can solely decide on what happens, and we're constantly going to keep working on that. But as of now, it's staked amount. But yeah, like you said, to combat that, we're going to make sure that we'll implement a way for that to not happen.
Yeah, but to add on to that is most usually when we're going to have a snapshot, a vote or whatever, it's always going to be a big difference in the yes or no options. So it's always going to be in the ratio of 70% against 30% or 80% against 20%. So we don't believe any will can really affect the outcome of the answer or outcome of the decision that's being made. unless it's really, really close, like a 49% against a 51%. And then we'll see on how to make it more fair.
That's great. Thank you for answering my question. I hope you guys post some sort of standards or something in the Discord so everyone can review it and knows exactly what we're looking at in terms of that regard. Thank you.
Definitely.
I have a question, please. Why increase the max allocation and after that have a public pre-sale? Sorry.
Can you repeat that?
My question is why increase the maximum allocation for the pre-sales and after the pre-sales do a public pre-sales?
So we changed our allocation because yesterday night, or like 12 hours ago, we checked the amount of people that have connected their wallets with the crypto sign, which is a website that allows whitelist users to connect their wallets. And then we saw that only 60% connected their wallets, which means that we only had a participation rate of 60%. So we realized to reach our soft cap at least, we still need more whitelist members, and we thought we already have 1,150 whitelist members. So we didn't want to have more people. So we decided on was increasing the max allocation for tier 1 people. And no, it's not gonna cause dumping. It's only for the better, because I believe not everyone will be doing the max allocation. There will be an average of 200, 300 MIM, 1,000 MIM, 2,000 MIM, and those will all balance out each other. And just we believe that it will come back to an average of 1,000 MIM.
Okay, and if we do that for the OG and the other worlds pre-sales, after which minutes can we claim the token?
There's a 4-day vesting period.
Can you repeat, please? Sorry.
There's a 4-day vesting period, so people have to wait. Each day they get 25% of their tokens until 4 days, which adds up to 100%.
So after the launch, we have to wait 24 hours for the first claim.
So after the launch, you can immediately claim 25% of your tokens, and then 24 hours after that, another 25%, and then 24 hours after that, another 25%, and then 24 hours after that, another 25%. And then you're done. You've claimed all your tokens. Does it make it clear?
Yeah. Yes, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Well, fantastic questions. Really, any parting words before we wrap things up?
Definitely. First off, obviously, I want to say thank you guys so much for all tuning in. I can see it there. At one point, there's about 250 people, which is just awesome. I'd also like to thank the Olympian server for letting us do this. It's been a very awesome experience. And yeah, hopefully that we could kind of explain more about the project and go more in depth. And hopefully we answered all of your questions the best that we could. So yeah, I just want to say a big thank you, guys.
Yeah, same for me. Thank you for all the people that tuned in. I'm really happy with the amount of people we had. I think we hit like 250 people. And for someone like me, that it's been a first time for me. So I hope I did well and didn't really show my inexperienced side. And thank you for the Olympians. It was really a pleasure. It was like a really nice experience. And for all the people that still have questions, they can always hit up my DMs and I'll explain everything.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate you guys being here. And, at the beginning, like I said, welcome. It's great to have you guys with the Olympian community, but we also welcome your community with us too. So we've got a big DAO family. And so, yeah, thank you guys again. We really do appreciate your time. I know we ran a little bit over, but some fantastic questions. And on behalf of the Olympians, we wish you guys the best and success as launch approaches.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.